Walk with me through the cellar door.
A storm is coming, Francis.
A portal to a more skeptical world.
Cellar Door Skeptics begins right now. Prepare for the revolution with your hosts, Christopher Tanner and Chris Hanna.
Welcome to Cellar Door Skeptics. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We have a very unique episode tonight. We're going to do something a little bit different than what we normally do. So kind of be prepared to laugh a little bit, hopefully, and be prepared to be surprised at the guests that we have back on the show. So tonight, we have a new special guest. He's been a part of the show in the past. Welcome back to the show, Boyce the Mathematician. How are you tonight, sir?
The Mathematician. Outstanding. Can't complain.
See how that worked? Also with me tonight, we have the regular crew, Tantastic, which is me, Buddy the Lumberjack, and Buddy the Elf. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, Hansel the Witch. I don't know which it is anymore.
Hansel and Gretel, get your stories straight. One of the few good things to come out of Germany was the Grimm Storytales, and I don't even know if they're German. I'm just talking out my ass.
You can't do accents to a deaf person. That's handicap discrimination. I can't understand you. You're being mean to me.
Oh.
I'd say read my lips, but then I have to accept that I'm also behind a pop filter and you can't see. So,
well, I was wondering, do lumberjacks do a lot of laundry? Is that how this works now?
Yeah, sometimes.
I think so. I think that's how that works.
It's one day a week. One day a week, get all my laundry done, and it's for two people. So there's that.
Yeah, look at that. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Shock Top, and hopefully they don't incriminate us.
I've shocked my top right off.
You did, yeah. Well, that's what happens when you get up in the business with a lot of trickle down, or is it called trickle up economics?
Trickle up, baby.
So, Boyce used to be a guest host, was filling in for Hannah for quite a while. Recently, he's moved on, and he has still has his original podcast, the Mindful Skeptics podcast, as well as a brand new endeavor called Trickle Up. Boyce, why don't you tell everybody real quick a little bit about the website? We'll go ahead and plug it so that everybody knows where they can find you.
Okay, well, it's called thetrickle-up.com, and it's a place where we are pretty much going to be like a home for all the Yang Gang inspired content creators and people writing articles for progressive ideologies and movements and candidates, and just trying to support candidates that don't normally get the spotlight from the CNNs and the MSNBCs and especially Fox News, and now Trump's favorite, OAN.
Yeah,
wait, what? I missed something?
One America Network.
There you go. You want to know what's funny,
Oh,
too?
God.
So, AON,
It's like the
in my
NRA.
board game that I play, this Star Wars board game, they have this card called Allies of Necessity all the time. So every time I keep hearing AON, I always just think of that card. And then I sit there and I think about the image and then I go, there's no way Trump or any of these people are any of my allies.
And it's the Trickle Up, not Trickle Up.
Well, I'm assuming,
Well, there
yeah,
you
that's
go.
to say, that's one of the things I was thinking when you said that. I wanted to say, just spell it out with thetrickle-up.coms. I mean, it's comfortable for you to just throw it out there, but okay, so people can see it. Yeah, that's another important one. I mean, thinking of Trump's network there, it makes me think of the NHRA's channel, which came to prominence for about 18 minutes, and now that company or that organization is looking at bankruptcy.
Appropriate.
Well done, boys. They spent all their money trying to get Trump elected, and look how well that worked. I mean, he ain't helping them a whole lot right now. So
Yeah.
I don't know. He's clutching the pearls and pulling back, and my guess is that anything associated with him is going to probably be doing the same thing in the next few months.
I hope so.
Oh, there we go.
So, before we get too far into the show, Boyce, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you back on. Your balding face is amazing to look at, and you shaved your beard. Is there
Yeah.
like a beard shaving video too?
Yeah,
Well,
I
didn't you
shaved it off
dye it?
live. I dyed it black for Dr. Jermaine Johnson. He just won his primary in South Carolina, raised $6,000 for his coffers, I guess you'd say. And then I shaved it off as a fundraiser to help finance the Trickle Up. I shaved it off, and actually the highest bidder who donated the most that night in 24 hours, or in the first hour, got to decide what kind of beard I got, and they settled on the butthole beard.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
It's just, you just don't shave around your mouth.
Oh man,
That's odd.
It was hilarious. Oh God.
it sounds like It sounds like something that somebody would put on the side of a space shuttle if you allowed them to give it a name, like Bodie McBoatface, and something else on the internet would stick into something.
Butthole beard.
Yeah, it's like we're about to send up the new NASA satellite butthole beard to make sure that everybody's communication.
There it is.
Well.
Yes. Look at that thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that is. Oh,
Isn't that terrible?
It's a
I can never
long.
unsee that.
I
it's a
can hear
long
the
thing.
I can hear the parents standing with their children. Look, kids, there goes butthole beard.
Yeah, I didn't shave for like the first hour there. I was waiting for the money for people to donate, and then I got in the bathroom and shaved that bad boy off.
I bet.
And all the people were wanting to see it. And there it is, butthole beard.
That's painful.
And my poor girlfriend's in the background. She don't know she's there. She's just watching me. I'm like, here we go, butthole. All right.
Oh man, look at that! I can't even imagine you do it. That's awful, dude.
It was great.
Oh.
I guarantee you, someone mentioned you to a therapist the next day.
Oh,
Did you have
easily.
to? Did you
I'm
have
going
to
to.
go? To work with it for like
No.
That
This was
that would take a huge amount of money.
my girlfriend's like, what in the hell? Oh yeah, it was fun. She was just like, oh my God, what have you done? But yeah, so that was fun, shaving off the beard. It went complete bear monkey though, man. Everything. It was the first I've done that in a long, like a human thumb. I look like this. That's what I was right there.
Yep.
Oh,
Great.
that's terrible.
Can confirm.
Can confirm.
It was a bad look.
Well, anyway, you look a lot better nowadays, so can't pass that up. So anyway, so tonight we want to do our first segment, and I'm going to preface this because I can't speak either like Trump, with saying that Boyce kind of came up with this idea, and I said, hey, why don't we just do this on the show, and then you could take this, edit it, put it right on your website, because I think this is going to be fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like a Jeopardy style episode for the beginning, at least, where we talk through whether Trump or Biden has a statement. And I'm going to give a disclaimer here because I don't know the answer to any of these, and neither does Hannah or Buddy. Boyce is the only person that has the knowledge of this.
I'm Alex Trebek.
Yes.
It's better than Alex Jones, although I feel like you're attacking me and trying to take the one thing that I have, and that's the Canadian heritage.
Hey, brother, let me stick the sulfur gods on you in the third dimension, brother.
So
pigs.
I don't know how we're gonna keep points. I think I'll post them in the chat. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah. that'll be fun.
Or you know what, Buddy? I'm gonna give you a task. You can bring up the chat, and you can go ahead and post the points that Boyce gives us at the end of each round. And Boyce, you can kind of keep track on your paper. Holy crap, that's a lot. Oh my God. This is awful. Oh,
Totally,
man.
completely, horribly intimidated by Boyce's thick white pad of paper there.
It's got girth, man. That counts.
Anyway, so
Well then.
before we get started, did anybody else have any other announcements that they wanted to share?
I survived a torrential downpour, as you guys saw from what I shared the other day. The weather took a nasty turn in Calgary over the weekend. There we had this flash floods and everything. I sent you guys in our little group chat there just one of the news reports showing a bus driving through a small lake in the making there. And this kind of reminds me of about 7 years ago. Yeah, 2013. We had this. My entire city was almost shut down because the main river that goes through it had flooded so much that like our downtown core was a ghost town and all of that. But yeah, I know I survived, and I even survived the funnel cloud that was seen near my city. But global warming doesn't happen because this is always like how this weather has been.
It's just weather, bro. It's just weather.
Yeah. So I'm alive.
That's good. That's good. I'm pretty sure that the poor people in northeast Michigan are still destructively underwater. I haven't heard anything about that story. National news, just like Flint and anything else that happened in Michigan when a natural disaster happens. Although the Flint wasn't exactly natural, but there's all kinds of people that are in deep and strident need all over North America, all over the place from all these challenges from global warming. And I haven't heard anything from any of the leaders on that stuff lately. Like, it's a big deal. Like, this year's weather has been crazy. We had so much water in Cleveland.
But
So,
global warming, it's not a
Trump
thing.
apocalypse.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a picture. My only announcement is I think I saw the best picture for Machine Shop. Analogies to comparing 2020 is a picture of a chuck with a chuck key in it, another tiny chuck attached to that, and another chuck key on it. So when you turn it on, it's guaranteed to kill at least one person in your machine shop. That's basically what I've been looking at as the best description in the tool room for what's been happening this year. It's just every time you turn around, something that you really didn't expect to happen has been happening, and it's been unnerving to watch, mostly because I'm working all the time, so I don't exactly get to really spend too much time. So I come home and I don't get to play too much on the phone at work like I used to. So I come home and I just see the headlines, and it's just like everything's still here, but it's on a little bit more fire now.
A little more fire. I could use more fire.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So I don't know how we begin, but
we let the new host begin.
Cellar Door Skeptics, who said it?
Brought to you by.
So I can't comment on the live comments to give it to you to post.
Why is that?
I don't know. You might have to go into the settings and change it to guests.
Well, I could do this in the because I've got the YouTube video streaming on my secondary computer here, so I can always do it there.
Well, the problem is I want to copy and paste it from my computer instead of typing everything out individually. It'd be a big drag.
Well, in that case, you're going to have to deal with Tanner.
Or I can just say them out loud. I'll just read them out loud. It's fine.
Better if you want to. Is it in a Word? Oh, you don't want to give it to me.
Right. You're going to win.
Cheater.
Hold on. Let me give you. It says you can comment. I mean, it's a public stream.
But I can put it in the private chat. But I got an idea. Okay, so. Okay, I'm ready for it. Let's with a look at who's.
Because yeah, otherwise you could post it in the private chat and I can flip it back around.
Yes. Well, so the premise is I've looked up all the stupidest damn things that I could find that Donald J. Trump, your tweeter in chief, and Joe, I don't know what the hell's going on, Biden, and said, who said it? So the first one is, I quote, it could end up being a must win. It could not make a difference. Full sentence, full stop. That's an actual statement.
So I guess each person will say who they think it is, and then we'll.
Yes.
All right, I'll go first. That's Biden.
Okay. Tanner.
I agree.
Yeah.
Keith also says Biden.
Wait, who is Biden? Is that how you say that?
That's right.
Right.
Question.
Who's Biden?
So we're actually doing the Jeopardy thing then. So, well then, if you guys are both going Biden, I'm gonna say who is Donald Trump because it's mush mouth.
Well, this one, believe it or not, is pretty obvious. It's definitely Biden.
No.
Oh.
He's a
Okay.
goofball. Okay. Here we go. Question number 2. This one could be a real. It could really stump you guys.
I'm gonna go Biden because he's the only one that seems to swear.
This is a big fucking deal,
Yeah, I'm going Biden too.
Yeah.
buddy.
Yes.
The elf
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with everybody. I think that's Biden as well.
is definitely Biden. Trump just hasn't let it out since he's been president, which is surprising. He said.
They made him put it back in once he stepped into the Oval Office because apparently he was wandering around with it out the whole time.
Oh man.
He didn't want to trip over anything when he was walking down that ramp the other day.
That was cute and adorable.
It's like watching my 2-year-old navigate.
He was really shimmying on down there.
All right, so the score is Buddy and Tanner are tied for 2
2
each.
And
Yep,
Mr.
and
Cleveland, I love Cleveland over here.
The Browns.
The Browns. Okay,
Next
so
one.
we got our next one. If we don't win in 2020, everything that we've done, seriously though, everything that we've done, your 401s, the whole thing's going to crash. The whole thing is going to come down like a stack of cards. It didn't finish.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta.
Except
got
I did it.
Too long.
I'm going Trump.
Yeah.
Trump.
Same.
Yeah, the 401s is a giveaway, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like everything he says is through the economic lens. So
Exactly.
if he can say that the economy will be great, so your 401k.
Okay, here we go.
Tanner, are you recording? Are you writing these down? Or
Yeah, I'm
do you-
recording them in the chat.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So they should have a record.
Question number 4. Or 3. 4. Yeah, 4. Too many good docs are getting out of the business.
Man.
Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
Oh,
said it?
This is so creepy. It's just, it's so cringeworthy. And I'm doing this from the bridge of the fucking Death Star.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That's so bad. My Audi just turned into an innie.
dude.
Uh,
The water was cold.
All right, I'm going Trump.
all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trump just because.
Just because I don't want boys to sweep us, if this is wrong,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Biden.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I threw you a curve, man. That's a classic. It's G.W. Bush.
Oh,
Oh, damn. I
It's
saw
not
it
really
coming and I was
serious.
still wrong.
At least Tanner and I went to the right party on that one.
It's so creepy, man.
Well, I think the only thing we can say at the end of that question is strategery.
Strategery. Black box.
No, it's lockbox.
Lockbox, my bad.
Lockbox. We'll put all of our votes in a lockbox.
Saturday Night Live had so much fun with those two. Strategery.
It wasn't so mean. It was just like making fun of them.
That'll
Yeah.
probably be the
It
only
changed the
thing.
tone.
That'll be the only thing to miss about a Trump presidency is the fact that Saturday Night Live gets a lot of good material.
Yeah. So
I'll
this is a little
sacrifice it.
long, but it is really funny at the end. It's a two-parter, so it doesn't
All
fit
right,
in
all
here.
right.
I once had a dog that lived to be 35 years old. I just thought that was so impressive. He was older than my son at the time. I still see him every day. People don't think dogs can be ghosts, but they can. And they're very powerful. I used to feed him figs from the backyard. Anyway, I'm sorry for the loss of your husband. Health insurance is important.
What the what?
That's definitely Biden.
Yeah.
No question. That's definitely Biden. That is something that he would have said at like a weird town hall when like there were people waving in the background. Stop talking. Stop.
This is
Yeah.
just it's painful.
I'm going with Biden too.
It's so obviously Biden. It's just so bad.
It's so runny. Like Trump's are fragments of sentences.
Yeah.
Biden's are just like this long, nasty noodle. It
It's
just gets dirtier as it gets on.
oh, and you gag on it at the end. Anyway, sorry about the
Oh.
loss of your husband. Health insurance
I
is
know.
important. What the fuck was going on
Wait-
here? Corn
way
pop.
to organ or way to anchor a run-on sentence with like
Man.
this giant steaming pile that I just dropped. It's all because I was trying to honor the memory of your dead husband. Error.
Oh my god. Well, some of these, let me see here. Here we go. It's weird how when you're reading them the first time, they don't seem so obvious. Then you read them again, you're like, oh,
God damn.
Let's see what we got.
And I think, he's been talking about maybe doing this himself. And I think he'd do a great job. We don't have the exact same feelings about what we're doing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Biden.
I'm going to go Trump.
All right, buddy.
I'm gonna have to go with Trump just because the language seems kind of simple.
Great job.
It is definitely Trump.
Yeah. Talking about jobs. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job.
great
and he fires him like 3 days later.
I'm having a hard time not doing my impressions of him and the
sorry.
rhythm. It's hard. Then Biden is just weird.
Biden is totally a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's nice.
Like when I say that, I mean like the nice guy in terms of he doesn't understand why people find him so creepy because he thinks he's just so nice. And he thinks that being nice is like a punch card for be nice 10 times, get 1 free boob touch.
But I'm 70 and white. Doesn't that mean I'm
one hair
awesome?
sniff.
Yeah.
Okay, who said it? He's actually not even a Democrat. Isn't he an independent? I don't know.
Trump.
Ooh,
Trump.
2 Trumpers.
Whoa.
yeah, I'm
Whoa.
gonna have to
Who
go
is
with
Trump?
I'm gonna have to say Trump as well, just because I don't think Biden would say something about Bernie as an independent, like in a question mark. I think it would be a statement.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. It's all Trump. Damn
It is. Yeah.
I've only stumped you guys once apiece. Damn it.
That's because you shenanigans did us.
The Bush one was just, I thought, wow, that is extra creepy.
Well, it reminds me of all the questions that stand-up comedians were getting when Bush was leaving office. Like John
What are you gonna talk about now?
Jon Stewart got it a bunch of it. They were like, "So what are you going to do now that Bush is gone? You going to have any new material?" And Stewart was like, "I make fun of the system. W is just a piece of it. The whole thing sucks." So,
Yep. So who said it? The first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean.
Biden.
Yeah,
oh man.
I gotta go with Biden.
If Biden said that, that's terrible. I want to say Biden, but I think I'm gonna go with Trump on that one. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think Trump's gonna do a dig at an African American who is articulate. I don't think Biden is that dumb.
Articulate has too many syllables, though.
Biden is that dumb, dude.
God, dude,
Told you.
he's such a closeted.
Big
Man,
dig
the
at
Canadians winning
minorities.
this one.
I also have the luxury of like a semi-objective outlook on this because he's at least neither of them are running my country yet.
Not directly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you could probably say that Biden and Obama kind of sort of ran Canada for a little while there. when Trudeau was just starting out, they were like, "Hey, what's up, man?
What's
What you doing
going
over
on,
there?"
guys?
Okay, so right now, buddy, you're in the lead with 7 out of 7. Tanner,
Dude.
you are 6 out of 7.
I'm 5.
Hannah is 6 out of 7.
No pressure.
Okay. So the next one of who said it is, look at that beautiful baby. Look at that beautiful baby. Wow, what a baby. What a baby. Wow, that is a beautiful baby. That's like from an advertisement. Perfect. Look how happy that baby is. So beautiful. That's the ending. Full stop.
Trump.
Trump.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Biden, but yeah, I'm leaning Trump.
I think I'm gonna say that's a Biden rambling moment where he couldn't think of anything else to say.
It's Trump, dude.
Dude.
Got you again.
Dude. This is why I don't play. This is why I don't play cards, because I like to bet against the thing that everyone else is playing on, and I just lose.
Well,
'Cause I'm like,
that-
everyone else is doing this, so it can't be right.
It's because you're falling into the pitfall of being a contrarian.
I know. That's the way it always is.
It's okay to run with the crowd when the crowd is right.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. The next one's just weird.
Oh.
Okay, who said it? I would tell members of my family, and I have. I wouldn't go anywhere in confined places right now. It's not that it's going to Mexico. It's that you're in a confined aircraft. When one person sneezes, it goes everywhere through the aircraft. That's me.
Do we let Hannah answer first?
Yeah, let Hannah go first.
I'm gonna trump that one because it's almost unintelligible.
Buddy?
So you're gonna say Trumper?
I'm leaning Biden.
I'm
Okay.
Biden too.
Man, Hannah, you're not doing good, bro. That's definitely a Biden one, bro. Drink every time you get it wrong.
Oh man, get it wrong, and then you got to drink. Next thing we know, Hannah's sitting there going, "You guys, come on."
Cleveland's not so bad.
No, the only sound you'll hear is me like.
Feedback from.
Don't
Oh
do that.
my god. Okay, here we go. Let me take this out. There. Next question of who said it? Uh-oh. There it is. Do you notice what's missing tonight? Teleprompters. No teleprompters. We don't want teleprompters. That would be so much easier. We read a speech for 45 minutes. Everybody falls asleep listening to the same old stuff, the same old lies. So much easier.
All right, Hannah, you get first up on all of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the golden tea bag.
Same
That
here.
doesn't narrow it down enough for me. Which one is that?
I thought he said tea bag, not D bag, so that's why I was like, yeah, I know what he's talking
Okay,
about.
so tea bags for Trump. Gotcha. And Hannah or Tanner, what'd you say?
Trump.
Yeah,
Trump.
I'm in agreement
Yeah, it's Trump. Damn it.
because it's funny how he notices there were no teleprompters, seeing as he never really looks at it anyways.
Well, I thought because when I first started researching this stuff, this was back when Biden just did his one in the basement where his teleprompter went down and he's like this on the camera, gave my fucking speech.
Yeah.
He first came out of his recluse state in his basement at the coronavirus. Oh boy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Okay.
And I think one of the keys to that one though is we read a speech for 45 minutes, right? I mean, like he used his president number in the discussion. I mean,
45.
like who knows how long? Nobody knows that. Come on, like.
Yeah.
I don't even know what number president he is.
But also, you can make the argument that Donald Trump didn't know what number he was about to say before he said it.
You can make that argument too.
He probably thinks if he gets reelected, he'll be the 46th president.
Yeah, he probably.
With 2 presidents.
All right, Hannah, or Boyce, you got to read it.
Look at her beautiful hat. Looks very good on you, but look at this. Look at those beautiful hats.
Sounds like a Southern boy admiring women's hats at churches. So Biden.
I'm going with Trump.
Biden, Trump. Buddy.
See, this for me is so far one of the most difficult ones because it rings of Trump in that it repeats itself a few times, but also Biden has a hair fetish. So, so there's that whole creepy thing.
So you're going Biden.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Biden on this one.
This one's Trump.
Damn.
Yeah, well, look, we're tied.
Hannah's
We're
back.
tied, buddy.
Oh shit.
I'm sniffing up the rear as usual.
So Tanner and Buddy both have 10. Hannah has 19.
19 wrong answers. That is correct, sir. You get no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay.
I love that one.
Okay, this one's going to be really confusing. Trust me.
That's it. That's a very short.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Who said it? People are being killed in Eastern Ukraine. That's one sentence.
Hannah.
Damn it. The only reason I think that could be Biden is because there's been a couple of examples where he just said the wrong country when making a statement. And I know Trump doesn't understand what nation states are. So,
I don't know, man.
yeah, I'm going to guess Trump just came out of a meeting with the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he knows some of the words they told him, and he's just saying them. So this is a Trump.
Okay, we got one Trump,
I'm going Biden.
one Biden.
It just because of two words in this, I made my mind. It says "excuse me," so that's why I have to go with Biden because Trump would never say "excuse me."
It's Biden.
He's the kind of guy who would walk past you in the gym, cut one, and keep going without even acknowledging the fact that he just poisoned the air as your mid-set and nearly died.
Dude,
Is it
funny.
Biden?
It's Biden.
Okay.
Dude.
Man, we should have taken some wagers tonight. Shit.
Yeah.
No.
I could have paid for my scotch.
Okay, so I have to. Oops, see, that's the wrong one. Copy and paste the wrong one. Here we go.
Copy and paste your recipe. What the hell is this? Just hash brownies, man. I'm still in Michigan.
Well, I made puffy tacos tonight, so.
You made what?
What?
Puffy tacos.
I had to blank out the location because it was a dead giveaway.
Okay.
So the next one in Who Said It is in said location. The largest growth of population is Indian Americans moving from India. Fucking idiot. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
I mean, if this is Biden, it's gonna just make it worse to even anything. I'm going with Trump on that. Just like, who would diss the 7-Eleven employee making you? But like, how would Donald Trump even know what a 7-Eleven is? So this is a tough
Buddy.
one,
Well, he's probably friends with the owner of 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
the CEO, right? Probably gave him a tax break or something. I'm kind of inclined to lean to Trump on this one.
2 Trumps,
Same here.
3 Trumps.
Tres.
You're all wrong, dude. It's crazy.
No
This is
way.
Biden, dude. Said state is Delaware. That's why I had to take it out.
Wow, that's
I'm gonna hold on. This is BS. Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God.
In Delaware,
Oh
the
my
largest
God.
growth is Indian Americans moving from India.
How old is this? Can you at least tell us how old
I have
this is?
no
I think
idea.
you just Googled it.
It just
You're
killed
right.
me.
I got rid of it. Hold on.
I was like, holy shit, he said that? You can't go to a 7-Eleven or Dunkin' Donuts.
This sounds like when he was in his
2008.
tough crime.
2008.
Oh my!
2008,
He was in
2008.
office.
Oh
He's
my
the vice
God.
president still.
Hold on.
He just got reelected.
Yeah.
And he's
Hold on.
Saying stupid shit like this.
Hold on.
Is there a video?
There might be.
Oh, I want to see it. Oh, this is
I don't want to see that.
No, that's actually true. It's pretty fucked up.
Because I'm gonna see that shit in my sleep on November 4th or whatever the hell it is.
You should, and you should feel bad, and you should cry.
Oh,
I
I just want to make sure we all understand we have to 100% feel bad. Period.
Not Biden. Plug your nose, people.
All right, you ready?
Here we go. Diversity in Delaware.
see it. As you know, I got a lot of support from you, Indian.
That's where, and more to come, I think. So.
No, I've had a great relationship. In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. So I'm not joking. Oh, it's gigantic.
Oh my god. Oh my
I
god.
thought that shit was funny, dude. He was a vice president.
I was wrong. It was 2006. I'm sorry. He was not vice president yet.
So what was he doing?
Is an Indian supporter. He says, "Oh yeah, we got a lot of support from the Indian Americans."
He was stereotyping and being racist all at like one time.
And grinning.
And laughing.
And then say, "I'm not joking."
What was?
So this is how you know we aren't Googling this shit because
Chris Hanna,
that does not sound. That's bad.
Not make sense out of nonsense.
That's bad. All right, next. That good one, boys. Next one.
Disappointing.
Like, just move on. I'm gonna cry in my scotch. Oh my god.
Okay.
I feel dirty. Like I just finished watching the movie Requiem for a Dream.
Yes. Yes. 100%. We're not gonna play that clip though, folks.
Which one? There's so many.
No. There's one really bad one.
Yeah. Well, okay.
At the end of the uncut.
Now this one is my personal favorite. And I looked at him, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board, or I'll kick you out again. But I shouldn't have called you Esther. Esther Williams, I apologize for that.
All right.
I don't know if Biden's ever been on a board, so I'm gonna go with Trump because I honestly nothing.
All right, buddy.
Again, it's just there's two words that are really making this difficult for me. And it's the fact that he says, I apologize. That makes it so I can't lean towards Trump because, again, I would never. So I'm going to go with Biden.
Okay. A Biden, a Trumper, and what?
Biden.
Yeah. You know, Hannah, you really got to watch out for this kid, man.
You know what? You throw some different... Throw me some differential equations, give me some derivatives, and I'll stomp all over you fools. Give me some weird obscure quotations of two old white guys on the internet, and I'm done.
This is from his infamous corn pop reference. He's in front of those kids talking about the pool and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, he's a bad dude. I said a bad dude. You had to go to the rain barrel and you had to rub your straight razor on the corner and dip it in the rain barrel, get it all rusty. I was like, and their kids are like, what the fuck, rain barrel?
Where did that come from?
Aren't those illegal? They want you to pay for water nowadays. You can't just take water for free from the sky. Rain barrel. You scrape your straight razor on the sidewalk. Fucking idiot.
All right, keep. Oh my god. You're gonna derail the whole thing. It'll be a tangent cast all over again.
Okay, here we go. Let me find a couple. Only got a couple more to go.
Good. Stop torturing me.
Yeah, Hannah.
I know, Hannah. You're at 6 points right now.
Well, maybe we'll get the old boy reference out.
Okay. Oh Jesus, that freaked me out. I looked away for a second. Okay, who said it? He goes home now to mommy and he gets reprimanded, and that's the end. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mom. Didn't mean to embarrass you, mom.
Hannah.
This sucks. This is everything sucks about this. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Trump again. Why not?
Okay.
Buddy.
Reprimanded is way too many syllables for Trump to really get right. So I think I'm going to have to go with Biden on this one.
Okay.
I'm going with Trump because I've never heard Biden say mommy. And I got this weird little story real quick tangent. So when I was in Wisconsin, I was at this like weird steakhouse that's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be amazing, right? And but it's a buffet steakhouse where they grill your steak for you. So you buy like a 20-ounce steak, which is the smallest steak they had there. It's Wisconsin, right? Smallest steak you get. Salad bar, you can get baked potato, all this stuff. So my buddy came up and visited me, and we're out there, and we're sitting in the waiting room, and in the other side, there's like this like section, and this dude's doing a retirement fund speech, right? He owns his own business. He's up from Florida, and he said, "Daddy, daddy, daddy," literally probably 40 times in 10 minutes. Dead serious. My daddy did this. And like, it's like, oh my God, A, you're from Florida. You're not from the South. You're from Florida. They don't have that accent, man. And 2, and he looked like, God, John Lovett. This dude looked like, I should post a picture of this. So this guy looks similar to John Lovett.
The critic was giving a retirement speech.
But
I love
fatter.
it.
So he was this fat John Lovitz giving a retirement speech about how these people should buy it. And everybody's there just for the food. You know that. Like, there's probably a couple old people. Everybody else is in their 40s or younger. And I'm sitting there going, motherfucker, I should have gotten here like an hour earlier. I would have sat through the speech just for the free food and pocketed the per diem that day. Like, that would have been the best. But anyway, it reminds me of a spoiled rich boy, which fits Trump more. So Trump's my long, short answer.
Okay, the next one of Who Said It.
Was it Trump? You didn't ever tell us the answer.
Yeah, I did. It was Trump.
Oh, well, I feel better then. Hey, look, Hannah got a point. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that one being something like when he's like rambling about like go back to mommy and daddy or whatever, like just like trying to diss somebody,
just being a bully.
That's an older quote, isn't it? Though the mommy one, I don't think that's from when he was president.
Yeah,
I've heard that one before actually.
Okay, here's another fun one. With conducting brutal medieval style killings, you know what medieval style is, okay? Little pieces. Medieval style, including the dismemberment of their victims, and they enjoyed every minute of it.
Keith?
Buddy, you get first dibs on this one.
Oh, I guess. All right. I want to say, I think this one's Trump just because it's really trying to demonize someone.
Okay.
I think I can agree with that just because little pieces. Like I don't know. At this point, I mean, with Biden dissing Indian people, I can't. Nothing's the same. They're both so bad.
All right, what's your answer?
Trump it is.
I'm going with Trump too.
Okay, that's definitely Trump.
All right.
Medieval style is right. Little pieces. Okay.
I don't know if I could vote for President Little Pieces.
Sorry,
I don't think I could do
Little
it.
pieces. Little pieces.
Because he can't hold anything bigger. The little bottles of water and everything.
You do know I think if you Google some of the shit he says little quite a bit.
Yeah.
Someone's compensating for something.
All right. Hey, buddy, what whiskey are you drinking tonight?
It's not whiskey. It is Filipino Tanduay rum.
All right.
And it's the last of this bottle, so I gotta get more to drink.
So the next one's kind of tricky, if you ask me. Another case of Who Said It. There's during World War II, where Roosevelt came up with a thing.
Shit.
End of sentence, by the way. That was a
All right.
sentence.
We're going to give Buddy the shot again.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Because, on the one hand, that's just perfect.
I'm voting Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz for human president.
I heard his dad killed Lee Harvey Oswald, okay?
I think I'm going to go with Biden on this just because it's way too close to Trump. And as we've seen, Biden just totally says things that you would not expect.
He out-Trumps him. He outflanked us, Trump.
He out Trump's Trump.
Hannah.
I think this is a senior moment. I think this Biden is just, he's so good at those where he's just like, where am I? What's happening? Oh, that's right. I was speaking about World War II. So
I'm going with Biden too.
All right, that's definitely Trump.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh.
Roosevelt came up with a thing.
he probably didn't know Roosevelt's name until right before that speech.
He probably read it really quickly.
Someone
I know,
was like,
he probably just knew him as FDR, and then when they said Roosevelt, he goes, "Who's that? Who
Or
felt
that-
Rose? What?"
or what is it? Someone posted on the storm. Was it the storm front? What's the white supremacist page? Someone probably posted something about the Bill of Rights being racist or something, or being like horrible. And he probably saw it on that. He's like, oh, I gotta say something about Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
I don't know. I just.
I'm the commander. See, I don't need to explain. I don't need to explain why I say things. This is the interesting thing about being president.
That's the interesting thing about it. Well, I mean,
Trump?
Biden's never been. So
Is it Trump?
If
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trump.
yeah.
It's Bush, man. I had to throw another curve in there, man.
Okay.
That's Bush,
All
bro.
All right. Well,
It's Bush. I wanted to throw it in earlier, but the president thing gives it away. But Bush said that shit, man. I'm gonna explain shit to you.
Well, that and it almost sounds like a 1930s cartoon gangster.
Yeah. Yeah, you see why? Yeah, see, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, when I'm done here, I'm gonna paint terrible things for 20 years, and everybody's gonna think I'm great again. Ugh.
Okay, here's the last one. It's obvious. This is
man, you got to give us a stumper. I'm beating everyone right now.
That's Bush. That's Bush again.
Look at this word.
They misunderestimated me.
They misunderestimated
me and the American people. That is why we have to go to is it Iraq? Iraq. That's why we have to go to Iraq, because they have the weapons of mass destruction.
Hey, don't give us a copyright infringement because you imitate Bush too well.
I honestly don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah, this is painfully, obviously Bush. This is a Bushism.
This is
There's
definitely Bush.
They misunderestimated me, which means they estimated correctly. Fucking idiot. God damn. I got one more. Let me find it. Where'd it go? Okay. This is the granddaddy of them all. The grand finale. Bet all your chips.
Well, Alex, I can bet $1.
Okay, here we go. If we do everything right, if we do it absolute certainty, there's still a 30% chance we're going to get it wrong.
I would just like before we answer this, I would just like to remind anybody who's watching this that all of these things have been said by people that we chose to run the largest, most powerful country on the earth, at least in some way, shape, or form.
We might not be for much long, buddy.
One can hope. One can vote properly.
All right.
It would be
Who said it?
I'm gonna take this one to start. I say that it's probably gonna be Biden. It's noodly, but it's not stupid.
Okay, buddy, the elf, the lumberjack elf.
What the hell? Why are we just adding names now?
Layers.
Crap.
That's how we do things around here.
See, on the one hand, it seems daft enough that it could be Trump, but on the other hand, it's admitting that they get something wrong. So that's why I want to lean towards Biden, but it's just so stupid, and I want to lean towards Trump, and I'm gonna go with Biden.
It all depends on who they're talking about.
Well, this is basically because your buddy and Chris are tied, right? So is this
No, I'm ahead.
No,
by one.
Tantan's in the lead.
And I'm
Tanner's
going to say Biden because this is from like
That cements a
right
win,
around
then.
the early part of their campaign or right when they got into office, one of the two. And it was about some stupid bill essentially that they were trying to push through saying, "Oh, hey, we could be wrong, but we're probably not." And then he threw out a random number, which is a Trump thing, right? But I think it's Biden. I'm pretty sure it's Biden.
So 3 Bidens or what
Yeah.
buddy?
Yep.
say?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's definitely Biden. Yep.
Man.
I can see Trump saying, if we do everything right, okay? Everything. Absolute certainty. Still 30% chance to say we're wrong.
Everything.
On
He
fake
would
news.
repeat everything at the end of it, though. It would
On
be there,
fake
or
news.
he would repeat 30%, or he would contradict himself and say, "I didn't mean 30%. That's just what I said. What I really meant was 0%, because 0% is the good percent. That's the accurate number, and 30's no good. That's not how this works."
The one I wanted to put up there is the one where Trump said he tested negative, but it was positive.
Positively
leave it there.
negative.
I tested positive for, but it is negative in a positive way. It was a perfect test. It was so
Exactly.
positive. It was positively negative. If negative is good, that's what I was. I'm like, oh,
He had one just like that with the girl that was his aide, or it was the girl was Biden or Pence's aide. He was just like, she tested negative for so long. She was always negative, and then all of a sudden she was positive. So like that's one of the problems with tests, right? Like, it's like,
people, you get more people positive. I'm like, holy shit.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Like I can usually, like, during the W and in that era, I mean I can watch the State of the Union address with someone who's like just kind of bumbling. I don't agree with you, but you're politically incorrect.
Okay, I want you to share
I
my
can't even
screen.
watch.
This is my new favorite meme I just created this week. It's a gold medal in mental gymnastics. That's not it.
Whoa.
Nope. Sorry.
Sorry, that's his Pornhub link that he had open in the background.
Yeah, sometimes you're looking at your phone, you pull up a link,
Premium's free
or
during
just randomly
COVID.
shows up.
He
You're
Googled
just trying to make a big thing out of it, but I wouldn't look at that stuff.
Chris
Blah,
Googled
blah,
mushroom
blah.
cap, and it came up with Trump's website.
Oh. That's why we drink.
So bring
All
up my screen, dude. This is good stuff. This is my most proudest moment. Nope. I shared my screen.
I don't see your screen.
You got to scroll down at the bottom.
Oh.
There it is.
You know what? I'm sure he would probably be happy to take credit for that image.
And so I have an article I'm writing called the gold medal in mental gymnastics. He is he's a Michael Phelps of mental gymnastics.
Look at those nips too. I mean, they're just out there.
Forward, bro.
They're like,
forward.
"Hey, we're here."
You know, I'm sure
We're ready to party, bro.
I'm sure if Melania saw this, she'd be like, "Oh wow, he's actually attractive. I have something to think about better tonight."
All right, moving on.
I don't care so much. Do you care? Do you care to care too?
So the next
I
thing
missed you, boys.
I want to show, and we're gonna do this. We're not gonna fill this out, but we're gonna do this because this is crazy. So somebody posted this, right?
Yes.
Wow.
And we did the best research we could.
Yep.
So the analysis that we basically came up with is this is on the proper domain. This isn't some fake link that goes to a different space because of a tiny spelling error or something. You see that a lot of times. Someone will buy a domain with 2 letters switched around so that they can pretend and with that reading thing when they switch letters in the middle and then you can still understand what it says and like the brain can automatically whatever. This isn't that. This literally is a survey, and the best assumption that we've been able to come to is that this is kind of like a hidden thing somewhere deep inside the website that is sent out as kind of like a dog whistle to very specific people I mean,
Yep.
this is gross. This is just thoroughly gross.
Yeah, I also just kind of cleared everything after DonaldJTrump.com. Just saying it made me feel weird. And yeah, no, it's his website, and it even says stand with President Trump against Antifa. So apparently that's the boogeyman that he's going to run against this election.
That's the new other.
That's the big bad this year.
And don't forget, he loves his new favorite term is the silent. What's he say? No, the invisible enemy.
Yeah.
Those are his 2 words.
I thought he was going after those 75-year-old Antifa guys that are so dangerous.
He fell harder than he's pushed, folks. I'm telling you, he fell harder than he's pushed.
No, it looked, folks. It looked like he had a tube around his ear. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. Because why would blood come out of an ear? I've never heard of that. Have you? Have you heard of that? I've never have.
He bled hard and fast, man. That was brutal.
Anyway, so this is something I found from a friend on Facebook, and I didn't believe this was true. I'll be honest with you. I did not believe that this was true.
We haven't been able to confirm.
Can you send me the link?
No.
Negate this in any way. Like, we can't negate this in any way. We've tried. Everything we do comes back to his actual page. It's just somewhere in the website. It's like if you go to landing, all of that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't. If you chop off bits and pieces, the URL fails, but it's all starting from DonaldJTrump.com, which is why I think this is something that's attached to it, like a mailer, so that the only way you can get to it from the website, not from any menus or anything, is directly having the specific URL.
I want that link.
I sent it to you in the private chat.
Cool.
So I'm going to show right here. This is why it's 100% true. Because there is another. All right, I picked the wrong link. Hold on. I'll get you the other link. There is another link that they have that essentially is the exact same type of thing.
I actually just found a third one. So I just out of curiosity, I just ran through the Google machine Trump official 2020 survey, and I have there's even a Snopes article. This is from like July is the Snopes article, but yeah, there's Trump versus Democrat poll, 2020 campaign strategy, 2020 Democratic candidate platform. So there's 3 of these.
Yep. So see, here's another. This one is not as bad, right? But it's still leading, but it's not as bad.
So like the people who click on something, become interested in something, they are by default through, if this, then this type computer logic, that they get the one link that's gross. If they're kind of people who click and say like, this is important, but I don't like the fact that you're being so aggressively mean to people, they get this one. And you know what I mean? Like, there's surveys, and it's a series of computer logic and all these different computer systems that are working on mass mailers and things like that are just combing to try to either catch the people that are 100% down with the clown, so to speak.
Yeah,
because I like that one. It's like
they're
that
down
is
with the sickness, man.
An
MS-13
loving
like an absolute dog whistle.
But so you're right, and so I found that other one. This is horrible, though. Okay, would you? Here you go. Would you rather see fix? Would you rather see fix our nation's shattered immigration policies? An MS-13 loving Democrat. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, Biden is milk toast. This is milk toast. Like, he's not even. That's not Biden at all. Like, Biden is almost Trump, as we just talked about.
Yep.
Who do you trust to protect America from foreign and domestic threats? Trump or a corrupt Democrat? Who would you rather handle our nation's economy? A radical socialist Democrat? And so, all right, my theory here is that this was sent out when Bernie was in the lead.
No shit.
Because this does not apply to Biden, to any other candidate really outside of Bernie at all. Like, I mean, maybe Warren a little bit, but really Bernie. A lying Democrat. All right, that's nothing bad. A high tax Democrat, sleazy Democrat.
So part of this isn't going to be like specific to any one thing, because like to kind of sort of to both sides of the political spectrum, and some of the more aggressive ones on the left side or whatever. But like you have there's a demagoguery thing that comes through more so with Trump stoking with his supporters, that like the Jordan Klepper guy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. There's a video of him. He's he started off on the Daily Show, and now he has his own show. It's The Opposition with Jordan Klepper. It's actually a really good show, and he's very, very good. He's a stand-up comedian, so he's the kind of guy that could actually go on stage and just totally rip apart the audience. And so like he's very fast and quick-witted, and so he interviews people at Trump rallies, and he just he beats them up with their own logic, or just makes them feel completely and totally inadequate. It's awesome what he does. And like this is a situation where, you know, you read this through here, and the people that are going to select the things that are highlighted in this survey are going to be the people. There's one woman that he was interviewing. She said, like, there's nothing you can do to change my mind. Ever. There's no time, no way I would ever change my mind. And he was like, you know, you wouldn't want any evidence or anything like that. She's like, there's nothing you can say. And he's like, so Trump could, you know, kill someone on Fifth Avenue. And she's like, nope, no problem. Like the whole thing. And so like this survey, the more egregious of the three that we find, this is Facebook's targeting advertising on a presidential campaign. That's the, you know what I mean? Like that's what this is. This is computer information warfare. This is the new norm. This is the world we live in until people either unplug, like a lot of millennials got away from cable advertising. And now what do we see? We see the people who are you know, still watching. Well, they're still watching their local news and are now owned by Sinclair Media, who are, you know, completely biasing a lot of that kind of stuff. And then they're getting into, you know, grandpas. They want to talk with their grandkids, and so they're getting into social media, and they don't have a built-up natural immune system like a lot of kids like our age and even boys in your age that have been around the internet since its inception, where it grew up a little bit. Because I will say you were at the beginning, you were probably spending a long time waiting for that sexy photo of Madonna to download on dial-up back in the day. I'm gonna
Madonna, maybe not. Let me think.
I know I remember saying like Spice Girls was a big thing for me when I was younger. I was like, what is going on here?
Anderson was on a nice little boating trip with Tommy Lee once back then, I remember. That's 3 days. No.
We've grown up navigating the pitfalls of like the internet before the internet.
Yep.
I mean, they don't have an immune system set up for it.
There's
Fair
truth
enough.
in that. Tanner, did you get the other one, the strategy survey that I sent in our group chat?
Oh, we lost.
Maybe.
Anyways, it's incredibly ridiculous as well. It's if you don't have it, I can read off a couple of the things for you. But
Hannah lost internet, he said.
Yeah, he said he just lost the nets.
Okay. Do you think America is stronger today than it was before President Trump?
Oh, you've got it. Yay.
No.
So
Do you want to see?
This one doesn't seem very wild.
Look at number 2, though.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Like once you start getting a little further down, the more biased the questions get. It's just, I'm kind of amazed. I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's still.
Hold more of the fake news media accountable. Yeah. Get Alex Jones put in jail.
Oh, God, yes.
Should the messaging tone of President Trump's 2020 campaign be similar to that of his? No, don't do that.
Oh, I think
Question 9 is
terrible.
Question 9 is the worst thing ever.
Should Trump continue actively posting on Twitter to compete with his supporters?
Trump shouldn't be posting on Twitter.
Which battleground states should we focus on?
They're all battlegrounds for him.
Where
right
do you
now.
get your primary news? Cable news, online, social media, newspapers. Like, that's a dumb, like, you're never going to get, oh my God. I do statistical analysis for a living. This question just would just like, you could never analyze anything off it. It's this is a horrible question to have.
Oh yeah, like
I mean,
they're
this
all
is a good one. Ooh, I guess I see mine on billboards.
Yeah, you're driving on the highway reading signs.
I haven't been on the highway in like 3 months, but hey, you know. Do you vote person?
Third?
What is third? What does this mean?
This, that, and the third.
Do you vote in person or by mail? Nope,
Or-
the third. I use
vote
the
by
third.
I vote by thirds.
like
I wonder if it was going to say 3/5.
Who proofread this before they sent this out? Somebody should be fired immediately.
you're fired.
Would you attend the rally? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so there's a couple in there that are crazy, but that one's rather tame compared to...
benign compared to MS-13 loving Democrats. So pathetic.
Anyway,
Hi.
so...
Oh hey,
I've just been sitting here yelling in the background. Let me in! I felt like the girl at the bottom of the well.
well, when we have
Put the fucking
5
lotion in the
or
basket.
4 people in here, your face doesn't show up on my screen to say
I
you're
was just-
here. So, like, I have to scroll down to go, oh, hey, there's another person.
We must have the notifications on your messenger turned off because I was ping ponging that stuff like
Yeah,
I was.
just so
I
you
was
know,
on
I get like
Tetris.
yes, I do, because otherwise I have so many notifications that show up while we're streaming between Discord, Reddit, this, Twitter, Facebook. I get notifications way too often.
Well, I'm
So I
gonna
just
select.
turn everything
I'm gonna
off when we
select.
stream.
I'm gonna select third because that's the obvious option.
You missed it. We were asked if we think Trump should keep using his Twitter to communicate with his followers.
Oh, I heard that too. That was here.
He's
Yeah,
screaming in the background.
he should definitely use it, but also there should be a presidential POTUS tweet Twitter handle, and then there should be Donald Trump's, and then they should be completely and totally and utterly separated by a wall, the biggest wall, the highest wall, because let's face it, he's going to continue to keep this same thing. He's going to boost it. He's going to have this resource that he built up that grew, or I mean, maybe it'll shrink, but this is a resource that he'll have strengthened by becoming president, and he'll be able to make money on it and do things with it after he'll be able to monetize it. Like you can't let him have a personal thing like that. So like he definitely there should be a presidential Twitter thing.
There is. There is an actual president Twitter feed. Do you guys remember when he started defunding all of the government agencies, and so they started with the shadow agencies or alternative agencies or whatever? There were a bunch of Twitter accounts for like the alternative EPA or whatever they were. There should be like an alternative POTUS account where they basically just take his tweets and just mock him relentlessly.
I think they had that for a while.
We have some people satiring him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Problem is he's such a satire of himself. It's hard to satire him better.
Well, there's a couple of them I read. I was like, oh, whoa, what did he say? And it sounded like something he'd actually say. They got me a couple times. I'm like, oh, that's not the real Donald Trump. It's the real Donald J. Trump.
Real.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's change gears a little bit. And we're gonna get serious for a second because that's my MO.
Boom.
Just so you know, and be prepared. I'm switching gears, and I only say this because the POTUS that we have has again been quiet. All he does is call people thugs. He continues to not want to change anything. He wants to continue to argue against defunding police officers. And here we go again. And I have another Facebook post I could show everybody if we really want to. But here we go again. Another black man has been shot over the weekend, right? For doing nothing wrong.
Drive-through?
He was shot in the back.
Yeah, he fell asleep in the drive-through, I guess.
He fell asleep in the drive. So long story short, he fell asleep in the drive-through, pulled over. They called the cops on him. I can show the video, but it is graphic towards the end.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll be honest with you, that's not my thing. I had a hard time watching it. I don't feel that glamorizing that is something I support typically. So I'll be honest, if I don't have to, I'm not going to play the video again. But essentially, you can go to this link and see this. And this gentleman right here, you could tell he was drunk when you could tell when the cops are talking to him, he's drunk. Get it?
Yeah.
So the cop questions him, asks if he's been drinking, what he's doing, goes through this whole regimen. And this is what pisses me off. And this is why cops need to be defunded 100%. This is like, this right here is why I'm so far on board, it's not even funny. And it's because of the fact the guy did not hit anybody. He didn't do anything. He fell asleep, pulled over, essentially should not have been driving, but he essentially was so drunk he needed food.
Yeah.
What happens is the cops get called, they confront him, they have a conversation. Eventually, this whole time the guy's telling him a story, and eventually the cops are like, "Can I just breathalyze you?" So the guy eventually agrees to a breathalyzer. Then what happens is after he agrees to it, sorry, I don't want to play it. After he agrees to it, and you can see that this is the gentleman right there and the cop. What happens is he breathalyzes him. He agrees to it. The cop kind of just keeps looking at his breathalyzer. Then the cop literally walks behind the guy and starts to put handcuffs on him. Immediately, he does not read him his fucking rights. He does not say you're over this amount, the legal limit. Like, I would love to know how drunk that guy was. Now, let's take context. The context of this whole thing, and this is why I want to talk about this over anything else tonight, because this has got my blood boiling quite a bit. And it's because in this world that we live in right now, if you're a black man and the cops are called on you, immediately you're going to get shade thrown at you. Immediately the cop thinks you're in the wrong. That always seems to be happening, right? Very rarely do we get cops walking up to anybody and saying, "Hey, okay, let's talk about this." Obviously, the guy was reported asleep in the drive-thru. The first conclusion is he's high or drunk. One of the two, And the cop literally just tries to arrest him. They throw him to the ground. Somehow this guy gets out of their handcuffs and steals a taser. And in the background, you can see in the background there, what'll happen is this guy's running this way and he's trying to shoot the taser behind him. So he's like dancing through the parking lot trying to shoot the taser behind him, and the cop shoots him. And that's what pisses me off when we talk about police brutality. That didn't need to happen, because I'm going to tell you, the guy didn't threaten to kill anybody. He didn't have a weapon on him. He didn't do any of these crazy things. And yet this cop decided because he was getting a taser shot at him, he needed to shoot the guy. Fucking let the guy run away then. I'm telling you what, in this lifetime, in this mentality, the guy's probably is drunk, and he's probably sitting here thinking, this dude's going to kill me, and I don't know what to do. I need to get out of here because I want to live. Because it'd be better to run from the police and live and go to jail than it would be for me to stay here and him put his neck or his knee in my neck and kill me.
It's part of the police culture itself. It's like they don't have the training to de-escalate. It's like, this is the situation. What the cop should have been basically doing, you should have been saying, "Now listen, I have this here. This device has told me that you are over the intoxicated limit legally to be able to drive. I have to now place you under arrest. I read you your rights. These are the things that have to happen. We're looking eye to eye, face to face. This is the law. I cannot let you go. I cannot change anything. Make everything transparent, make everything clear, make everything understandable. At least start there. So they immediately go to the strength position, and this is the part of the culture of the police officers that everybody says is the problem, is that it isn't a try to find a way to make everything, this is the law. We have to follow the law. We have to make sure we're both on the same page. I'm about to do this. This is what's about to happen. I'm not, this isn't me being aggressive or whatever it is. Like, there needs to be complete transparency. This guy just does, police just think they can just kind of go around and do what they think through, authoritarian and strength perspective or strength positions, and that's part of the problem is that it's almost militaristic. I mean, like you're an invading force that can kind of like just do what you need to do to survive. But this isn't a battle. This is the thing where you're dealing with citizens and people you're supposed to be protecting. It's like the defund the police thing is about changing the culture of the police. So essentially defunding them so you can maybe restart. And this would be a great example where this didn't have to escalate, but because of training, because of the way the culture is set up, they escalated. Like this easily could have not escalated. This guy should have been arrested, should have gone to jail, should have had a DUI or whatever it is, dealt with the consequences of his actions, but it did not have to end in a violent manner. And that's partially or probably I would say the majority of the reason that it did end this way is because of faulty police training when it comes to leaning on that heavy, violent, and restraints and all that kind of stuff. Like they're not looking at mental health. They're not looking at psychology, like the tools that you need to be able to do the police job effectively, as opposed to be like I said, an invading force where they're just like soldiers coming in. And like this is a great example, and it's all on video, and they had their body cams on, which is a surprise lately.
Yeah, there was another link in that article that led to another camera that showed footage of it. And as he's literally just running away, he kind of haphazardly waved or pointed the taser behind him, and it missed. And one of the comments that I saw against that was, so you tried to use a non-lethal weapon, missed, and it ran out of shots. So why was the use of lethal force justified when he no longer had a non-lethal weapon? Really nothing more lethal than his cell phone at that point.
So have any of you ever been drunk enough and had a dealing with the police officers that you don't quite entirely remember?
I've had many.
Not with police officers. I have not remembered things, but not with police officers.
Yeah.
In here, you want to hear a white privilege story? Here's a white privilege story, right? I was, I don't even know if I think I was of age. So we're just going to pretend I was of age. I definitely was of age.
Allegedly.
I'm pretty sure I was, because I probably would have gone to jail
Allegedly.
because I had been arrested before for drinking underage. Anyway,
that's what mine was.
That's a whole separate story. We won't get into that. But there you go. There's another story. That's two stories. I have a white privilege. There you go. We'll tell the first one. When I was 18 and a half, I was out in Jackson. I was at a house party. Basically, it was a bunch of underground punks. We were partying our asses off, live music. Cops came. I ran the opposite way, ran into a fence, turned around, tried to dodge the cop, and they caught my arm. They said, "Hey, man, let's have a conversation about this. How old are you?" I'm 21. When were you born?
Man.
84. They're like, so you're 19?
Damn it.
No, I meant 86. So you're 22. I don't know. Well, sir, we're going to have to put you in the back of the cop car. No handcuffs. Put me in the back of the cop car. Right? So I'm sitting in the back of the cop car, looking around, trying to figure out how I can get out. My buddy, who's 30, who threw the party, who owns the house, which, by the way, they didn't find any drugs, thank God. They just a bunch of booze. He took his dick out and pissed all over the back of the cop car. Guess what happened? Both of us got released that night with tickets to appear in court next week, and basically took all the alcohol that was in the house. Let us go. Nothing. And the guy pissed, literally took his dick out and pissed all over the cop car. Like when they took me out, they're like, what do we do? I don't know. What do we do with this guy? And the other cop's like, I don't want to take him down the precinct because now we got to shower him. We're going to do all these things. So just take him back in the house and let them deal with him.
So we're not going to shoot this one. We're not going to
shoot either of these people.
I was just saying, the reason I asked that is like, I got an MIP when I was 19, and it was just like drunk and stupid, but like the guy grabbing the thing, running around, like I can see myself doing that. Like just complete, like I woke up with the MIP, so I don't exactly remember much of it. I just remember the cop being like the female cop, the woman was a giant, and then they were like, no, you don't understand. You were on the floor while you were talking to her. I was like, God damn it. But
the second story that I had right?
Yeah.
I was in a drive-through for Steak and Shake in Granville, and we're going through the drive-through, and I'm clearly drunk in the backseat, not driving. I'm clearly in the backseat. My buddy and my ex-wife are up front. You know, this is before I was married, and I've got a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I'm drinking straight out of the bottle while we're going through the drive-through, right?
Of course.
Ordering food, drinking. They ask us to pull up. My buddy goes, you know, this is odd. There's nobody here, and they can't make our food that fast. Chris, do you have booze in the back? No. Go put it in my trunk right now. Go do it. So I get out of the car, go put it in the trunk, get back in the car. Cops come. Get this, the cops come. And the cop gets, you know, like asks us all for our licenses. And then he goes, hey, Chris, I need you to get out of the car. And I was like, all right. And he's like, can you have Matt open the trunk? So my buddy Matt opens the trunk. He goes, is there booze in the trunk? I was like, yeah, I got probably a half of the fifth of whiskey in there. He's like, you been drinking? Yeah, I've been drinking. Okay. Were you drinking in the backseat of the car? Oh, no, I was not doing that. The people inside the restaurant say they have pictures of you drinking a bottle of whiskey inside of the back of the car. No, I would never do that.
Show me
they
the
said
photos,
they have
bro.
a picture of you getting out of the car and putting something in the trunk. What else would you have put in the trunk? I was like, oh, see my coat? My coat's right there. And luckily, I have my sweatshirt in there, right? And so the cop's like, all right. So he gets everybody else out, and he's talking to us. And he goes, all right, well, here's the deal. You're all going to jail unless one of you can blow under the legal limit. So my buddy raises his hand. He's like, I'll blow. And they're like, I don't think so. You look way drunk more compared to these two. My ex-wife like can't walk straight, so there's no way she's sober. And I'm sitting here going, all right. And then he's like, so I want this guy to breathalyze. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Matt should breathalyze. My buddy was like, yeah, I'll breathalyze. And don't take them to jail if I blow dirty. But I haven't drank in 4 hours. My buddy breathalyzes and blows under a 0.2. Right? Under a 0.2. And he had been drinking, but not very heavily, you know, right? And so the worst part about the whole thing is the cop basically is like, well, I can't believe he's sober and you're not. I would have expected you to be sober. And I'm sitting here going, they just told you they have pictures of me drinking whiskey in the back of the car. Why the fuck would you think I'm sober? Like, just because I could talk good? Just because I know how to talk to you? That's white privilege right there. That's exactly what that is.
You were talking gooderer.
Gooderer. There you go.
Well, that's, I mean,
You guys-
that's that kind of stuff that, you know, this guy, not that far from your story, and he's dead now. He did something stupid, but I mean, he may have been blackout. Who knows? I mean, but still, there's no excuse for like grabbing a cop's taser and running off. But like it isn't Judge Dredd out there. You're not the judge, jury, and executioner all at once.
Yeah.
So
Well, I woke up on a golf course in the military, and I started out working at the bar. When I was 19, woke up on a golf course in Ponte Vedra, Florida, which is like where Tiger Woods plays golf. It's a TPC golf course. That fancy barbed wire, not the kind of the razor wire. 10-foot chain link fences. I'm inside on a putting green in Florida. I don't know. There's gators, you know, kind of a weird thing. But I just passed out drunk. I've got sand prickers all over my legs and my shorts. And my buddy was drunk as a skunk, driving around all night asking the cops, "Have you seen my friend?" Drunk.
yeah,
Didn't get a trick ticket. Then he was wasted. And who am I to talk? I'm passed out. Don't remember how the hell I got there. But he was drunk, driving all over the neighborhood, pulling over cops.
hey man, you see my friend, bro?
Have you seen my little buddy?
That's, I mean, I don't know. Keith, you get pulled over on them Royal Mounties? Get a horse.
No,
horseback.
I mean, I've had some really weird instances with cops. Like I've been pulled over a few times, never for being drunk, which was fortunate because Alberta has we have quite the strong program for dealing against drunk driving. Like we have the highest rates of it allegedly, but that's because we do more to try to catch them. But like there was one time I was pulled over. I was I'm just going to use the numbers. Don't try to think about how fast it is. So you can think in relative terms. I was going 140 on a road that was 90 in British Columbia. Now to kind of explain why this is amazing to me is British Columbian officers, they're not overly fond of Albertan drivers, and rightly so. Alberta has a lot of the guys who work on the oil rigs who, right out of college, they barely pass, or right out of high school, sorry, they barely passed high school. They get this really, really, really high paying job. It's why Alberta loves the oil sands so much, is because guys could come right out of high school, go work on the oil rigs. They'd be making close to almost $100,000 a year after a year. That's why they love the oil patch so much. But because they didn't do well in school, they didn't really think long term. They made a lot of, they're very impulsive. So they go, oh, I got a lot of stupid money. So they buy like really big jacked up trucks. They speed like assholes, drive like assholes, and are just all around assholes.
Well, I mean,
and
you could potentially be considered driving like an asshole, going 80 in a 55. Just
Well,
so everyone understands.
Right. But they also buy up a lot of like there's a joke that Kelowna, which is in the Okanagan Valley. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's kind of a popular tourist spot for Canada, the BC interior. Kelowna
so you
was
could have
for a
hit
while.
some tourist. That's a perk, I guess.
No, Kelowna was called Little Calgary because of all the Calgarians with money who would have their second homes out there. So BC cops have a lot of problems with Alberta drivers, and even to the point where they actually put in legislation where if you were going X over the speed limit, this is after I did that stupid stunt, that they could take your car and impound it, essentially, just because of Albertan drivers. And the cop, she pulled me over, and she goes, do you know why I pulled you over? And went through all of that, and she goes, now, legally, I could probably take your car, but I'm not going to. So I want you to get home safe. And I was like, yes, ma'am. Just sitting there, like, feeling my butthole slowly release my underwear because it had clenched so tightly. Because as soon as I saw the lights behind me, I looked at my speedometer. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my car today. And another time, after I pulled over, I actually had the cop, after he handed me the ticket, he goes, and I want to thank you for being so polite, because my attitude is you caught me doing something I shouldn't have. But again, white privilege and all of that. So I was just like, my cop stories really aren't all that exciting.
Canadian white privilege.
Yeah. As long as you're polite, they like to get away with a lot.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being so kind and courteous. Oh yeah.
It's like
thanks for pulling over when I sirened at you. Hey,
I don't know if you guys read the Neil deGrasse Tyson blog post or whatever it was that he had, that you talked. He was at the I think it was Black Physics. There's a conference, whatever. It was off. It was basically signed all African American scientists, and they all had stories the exact opposite to the stories that we just told. And it's kind of a reference point to people who are that we, as the general populace, we don't really understand. And like seeing a video like this, it can maybe bring a few people to it. It hits harder to people, obviously, like Chris, that are gonna, really, truly, and completely empathize. But like maybe these videos, by being out there, people see that and they can maybe put themselves in their shoes. They have that one moment in their life when they were a little bit too, hazardous to be out doing the thing, and they had an interaction with the police officers, and it didn't. Their first thought was, this is dangerous, I may die. Like there wasn't that kind of fear. And that's basically the whole point of why I asked everyone. It's like, I've had these moments. Everyone's here has had a couple of moments here and there, but like at no point in that interaction were we really genuinely fearing for our lives. And so like it is a legitimate thing that this protest and everything, it's real. It's a real thing that needs to be fixed. And there may be differences as to how it should be, but in all reality, it really does need to be corrected. And hopefully the sustained movement, like a lot of serious push, that like people that are now past the riot phase, and then the people that are out there are really the long-term progressive political people that are going to try to create nonprofits, try to create organization, try to create infrastructure and hierarchy, and really create something big. I'm hoping the Black Lives Matter movement and all that kind of stuff, and donating through Act Blue and all that kind of stuff. There's some really cool things that are happening. So hopefully we'll see something, because this is just another example. The murder, the homicide that was just ruled in this case. It's something that, I don't know. I mean, you can only get hit in the face so many times before you get desensitized, and I really hope that we can make some change before we do become desensitized in this country. Because at that point, it's just another notch as to the downfall of empire. Like, how much can the country exist if a third of the population is fearing for their lives, closing in on half the population? I mean, in the near future, they've said that they will be, white Americans will be a minority, less than 49%. So,
well, and don't forget, by 2050 something, the average wealth for African Americans will be fucking zero.
Yeah, if it continues the trend.
Yes,
but that's an unsustainable trend. So there has to be a plateau, a negative plateau, but there will be a plateau.
And we're not there yet. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know,
do
man.
some quick saves today, or you want to end it on that? We're going to do
some quick saves because the last segment I wanted to do, I don't know. And I'll be honest with everybody, I'm very sorry because I do get very emotional with this, and some of it hits closer to home than maybe it should, right? And I think it should for everybody, but for me the big thing is why the fuck don't you all care, and why every time you hear something you have to oppose it? It's like I have people go, defund the police. Oh, no, hold on a second, we gotta say, and Chris Sheldon, I'll call your fucking piece of shit ass out. I don't care if you came from Scientology. Stop arguing stupid points. We both agree that we need to fix things. Stop saying, I want to argue about defunding versus reform. Get over it. Jesus Christ, dude. At some point, it's like, you and I want to make the same change. We can argue about how to make the change versus what word to say. Grow up, dude. Are you fucking 12? Are you a 12-year-old? Are you more worried about people getting shot in the street? Or are you more worried about, whether somebody says reform versus defund? Fuck you. How about that?
It's all just a diversion. It's all a distraction from the actual conversation.
He's worried about that. He's worried about that dollar shelving stuff at the front of Target. That's what he's worried about.
Well, hey, before you guys start this quick phase, I got a skedaddle, unfortunately.
All right, no problem.
Waiting for me over here on the couch, looking at me.
Bye, boys.
Thanks,
Miss
boys.
you.
Real quick before we dismiss, boys, head over to thetrickleup.com. There is an article from yours truly that was on that, I don't know, I think a week ago. I think it's about a week ago. I gave him an article. And we contribute semi-regularly to his blog, working towards giving him more views. And if
there'll be something from me coming in there soon, too, if I ever get my life on an order.
So if any one of you guys want to get an article, just write something awesome. We'll put it up there, man. I'll create artwork and shit.
Yeah, I mean, he'll post it even if you are a Biden lover. He doesn't care. I mean, just don't smell the hair too much.
Ooh.
I mean, Boyce has no hair, so you can't really smell it. But
can't hurt me.
Biden would not like you very much, Boyce.
That's why Boyce has no hair, is because he's like, I don't want no Biden to touch me. I don't want him to, don't want none of that.
I'm crushing your head. I'm squishing it. Crushing.
Fair enough. Anyway, have a good night, boys.
Later's human thumb.
There's nobody.
All right, as we run into the last segment for the night, for the quick saves, I got to bring all of them up. We'll go with mine first, I guess, since it's on the same topic as what we were talking about earlier. Somebody in one of the Discords that I'm in posted something called Anti-Racist Baby Board Book by Imbram Kendai. And I don't know if I butchered that name. I apologize if I did. But essentially, this gentleman is releasing a book this week that you all should be reading. And he has quite a few other books. We'll get into that in a second. But this book is essentially something you can give your kids. It is an amazing book, and they are doing an actual live stream conversation with this gentleman and his illustrator online, I believe, Thursday. So I'll post that link as well. But this gentleman, the way this book is written is essentially how to not raise a racist individual, which kind of derives from another book that he has called How to Be an Anti-Racist. And if we're talking about what should we be reading right now, what should we be doing? For me, I felt moved to endorse Black authors, as well as authors that were trying to teach me about the movement at the time. So this was the first book I bought last week of his, actually, was How to Be an Anti-Racist. I also bought Anti-Racist Baby, even though I don't have any children of that age anymore, but I feel it could be a good tool, and I've been contemplating whether I should be starting one of those free libraries in front of my house in the next year. So yeah. So anyway, that was my quick save. Links are in the description. This gentleman is very awesome. I've watched a couple of videos from him, and he is very, very eloquently spoken. So who wants to go next? Keith?
Okay. This is I'm very excited to talk about this. This goes back to one of my first real beloved video games that wasn't for PC. Our first console was an Xbox. So that tells you probably not much about my upbringing, since I mentioned gaming on PC. I came home one day and my dad, of all people, had mentioned that he found this game, and it was hilarious and he really loved it. And my brother had been playing it, and as soon as I tried it, I fell in love with it. It was called Destroy All Humans. They've had a couple of sequels in a spin-off from it, but they're remaking it. They remastered the original, and it comes out later on this summer. I think it's July 28th is the release date. It's coming out for PC, Xbox One, PS4. Essentially, it is a parody version of what happened at Roswell. You play the clone of the alien that crashes at Roswell. Not to give any spoilers away, because they're coming to Earth. They're trying to find just some ways of helping their species, because they've run into some problems, and they've sent Cryptosporidium 137 and his guide, his manager, Pox, who is voiced by Zim from Invader Zim. So if you like that guy, he has a part in this. All around, it's just absolutely ridiculous, absolutely absurd, friggin' hilarious, and honestly just a great way to kill the afternoon. And if you've had a bad day, it's hard to feel bad after you've unleashed your anal probe and caused people's heads to explode. So unleash some hell on humans, because really, after the year we've had in 2020, and we're like not even halfway through, I think we all could use a little bit of a lighthearted misanthropy.
Definitely, there's nothing wrong with that. I remember when that game came out; it was a pretty big deal. A lot of people really enjoyed it, so it's cool to see it getting a secondary release.
The graphics in this, dude.
Oh yeah,
totes amazing. Like, compared to like totes, compared to like anything that I played as a kid. And I'll be honest with you, I like this movie, Mars Attacks, which I feel this game is built off of, and I'm not going to say that 100% it is, but I love that movie.
It's actually they're very similar in the fact that they parody a lot of old alien ideas from what little green men looked like and all of that. They make fun of a lot of that in this. But what's hilarious is that with Xbox, they have their games with gold, and this month's happens to be the original version of it. So I was like, well, I want to get back in the spirit of it, and I can only play Pokemon so much. So I download. Shut up, okay? I have a weird lack of soul. I don't understand it. Anyways, so I was playing it on my 360, because I have the 360 and the one, because why bother? And I've been playing it on that, and the graphics are absolutely they're so primitive, and I'm like, oh my god! I remember looking at this, going, wow, this is so cool, and now I'm like, this is fun, but wow, these graphics have not held up.
Yeah, it's like booting up GoldenEye.
Oh, that would be, like the nostalgia boner dies real quick on that, but. You get a couple of drinks, and I don't think you care. I think all you can focus on is nostalgia.
It's a pretty sweet game. So my quick save is kind of like it's kind of a yes and no, yin and yang thing. So like the SpaceX stuff, you know, with Musk of late and turning into a red pill just douche. He's trying to do something with this company that I can't think of a faster, better way to kill, as long as it stays free. As far as like the information itself, I can't think of a faster way to kill religion and authoritarian regimes faster than using something like this. So what they're going to do is SpaceX is launching 500 Starlink satellites in orbit, and what these little satellites are doing is essentially providing broadband connections to a system very similar to GPS, to allow places where, if you've ever lived on a street when they said, well, we can't run cable to your house because there's only 5 houses on that street, so it'll cost you $10,000. Each house has to cover that. So that's $2,000 a piece. Do you want to pay that? And not everybody says yes, so you don't get internet at your house. You have to go to DSL satellite dish or whatever. So like those kinds of things aren't even that route isn't even possible in places throughout Africa and underdeveloped nations all over. But with this unit, you know, one company essentially would be able to provide internet for all of these places, which could disseminate more information quicker and faster than anything that has ever been done throughout the entire world's history. The other end of that is that it could provide, you know, a monopoly on information for one company who's essentially in charge of these units because they're privately owned. This is you know, private capitalism being faster than government systems to create an infrastructure. And so whether or not this is, you know, this Skynet primitive whatever, like, you know, it's not artificial intelligence, but like it could be this monopoly that could be a really big problem in the future. All the big companies are trying to do it, Amazon and so like this is really cool, but in the end it could be a really dangerous thing, and Elon Musk is going to be in charge, and so we know he's just kind of dangerous and problematic anyways. And so like it feels really cool that maybe a bunch of people who really need information will get it in the future, but also it hurts to see that, you know, maybe this company who has good and bad things happening could be in charge of it. So I don't really know where I am, but I think this is really important to keep an eye on.
I would agree with you. I think that's the big takeaway here is, you know, how does that work with everything else? You know, how does he get to do these things, and why is the government or the world order government not stepping in and saying, hey, maybe we should keep this free for everybody? I don't know. Well, what I do know is that we're at the end of the show, and we've had a good time. It's been fun, right? Get your knife down. Yeah. There's no one to knife. No one to knife. Stop that. No Hannah. No scissors either. Nope. Not for you, bro.
What's wrong, Raymond?
Anyway, thank you all for coming on the journey with us. Sorry for the end of the episode emotional rant, but some of that stuff just really angers me to the extent of I don't understand why people don't get why Black Lives Matter. I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just jaded. Maybe I've been out of work for too long, you know, like where I've been working at home. I don't have to have human contact, so I get to yell at people. And then the other side of me says, fuck all those people.
Destroy all humans.
Yeah, get over your life and figure out how you're going to not be a horrible human.
Figure it out. It's embarrassing. Pheasants.
Next week, we will have a discussion about what it's like to be a white ally. We have some COVID updates that we're going to talk about, and we will go through the article we've forgotten about the 60s riots and how they pertain to today's life now. Thank you all so much for joining us on Cellar Door Skeptics. We'll be back next week with another amazing episode. Or maybe a non-amazing episode? I don't know. Boyce won't be on, so who knows? I don't know. Yeah, get your bowl and smoke it, folks. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.